If you find yourself talking over or speaking for BIPOC individuals, or God forbid, correcting them.
Guys, this is real. Before we watch the clip in full, let's set the stage. This is just too good. One of the speakers in a Zoom meeting rallying support for Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign among white women went viral for her patronizing tone as she chided listeners never to correct women of color.
Excuse me? Okay.
The White Women Answer the Call Zoom meeting gathered 164,000 white women last week, breaking the world record for the largest Zoom call. The Thursday gathering was inspired by a previous Zoom call directed at black women last Sunday that was organized by activist group Win with Black Women. Arielle Fodor, a teacher turned TikTok influencer with over 1.3 million followers, went viral for her contribution to the Zoom meeting. Fodor, known as Mrs. Frazzled on TikTok, makes content where she uses what she describes as a teacher voice, speaking as if addressing children while correcting people about things like mansplaining.
No matter who you are all influencers in some way. So tonight, I'm going to share some do's and don'ts for getting involved in politics online and navigating the toxicity that comes with it. And spoiler alert, as much as the toxicity can come from the outside, it can come from us too. So first, don't isolate yourself. We can do our best work when we're in community together like we are tonight, because the toxic feels smaller when we support each other. But don't make it about yourself. As white women, we need to use our privilege to make positive changes. If you find yourself talking over or speaking for BIPOC individuals, or God forbid, correcting them.
What? You can't correct another human being because of their skin color? I don't even know what to say. Black people are so fragile, their egos are so fragile, you can't talk to them like you would anyone else. You have to have a special way of speaking to them. Does anyone else see how racist this is? Arielle Fodor has a very low opinion of non-white people.
Just take a beat, and instead we can put our listening ears on. So do learn from and amplify the voices of those who have been historically marginalized, and use the privilege you have in order to push for systemic change. As white people, we have a lot to learn and unlearn. So do check your blind spots. You are responsible for your algorithm, believe it or not. Intentionally seek out and share content from BIPOC creators, activists, thought leaders. They should be the leaders of conversations about race and justice and equity. So just whatever you do, don't stay silent on the issues of injustice. Big changes can start with just one person who's brave enough to speak up.
I'm brave enough to speak up. She's treating people of color like they're toddlers, like they have no agency of their own, and they need her to take care of them. How condescending. Her ego is huge right now. You can see she is flying high on the attention, talking down to everyone.
But do know when to walk away from an argument for your own sake. There are some strangers you'll meet online who are persuadable, but some are not. I know when you see some headlines or someone makes a wild claim, it can be really shocking. But do give yourself permission to pause, take a breath, and do a Google search and ask questions and be critical of the sources. I was a kindergarten teacher, and sometimes we would read stories, and I know I have some of my former students here and their families. Hi. We would learn about a historical event, and I would ask my students, who is missing from this story?
So we have to focus on not what's going on in the story, but who's not there. Wow, that makes a lot of sense. There is great wisdom in this one.
This is not a concept or question that I invented, but it's something that I was taught as a way to decenter the Eurocentric and white voices that are often at the forefront of our history books and our media. And so, in a time when misinformation is running wild and AI is on the rise, seek evidence and be a critical consumer of media and information before just sharing it out. Don't feed the trolls. You guys know I have trouble with this one sometimes, but we are all grown up children. Children seek good attention and bad attention. Trolls are the same. Sometimes walking away is the answer. But that being said, don't expect to get it right every time because we're going to get it wrong sometimes. I certainly do. I have, and I will. And that is part of the process of learning and growing. So be ready for feedback and listen when you're corrected. And
Oh, so white people can be corrected. So we are mature enough to handle it, unlike people of color. Very interesting. Hey, Arielle, I think your privilege is showing and your racism. What a hypocrite.
model doing your best to repair harm that's done because a lot of the times being an ally means being willing to be uncomfortable. And no one is more uncomfy than someone talking to their bigoted family members. So, yes, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room, no pun intended.
Bigoted family members and the elephant in the room. Pun intended. Oh, I see. So what she's saying is if you're a Republican, you are naturally bigoted. Very interesting.
Get it? Over half of the people, over half of white people, or almost half of white people voted for Donald Trump both times he ran for president.
So, if you voted for Donald Trump, you are a bigot. How typical.
So you know someone that you need to talk to. Do it. Maybe don't hit them with a got it, or catch a bubble like I do in my skits. We can save that for when we are among friends, but trust me, they do not like it, and it is not going to help you persuade them. But research tells us that personal conversations between friends or family members can be more persuasive than any online debate with a troll or even an advertisement run by a candidate. So remember, I said you are all influencers. However, if Kamala can use brat, I can say, let us touch grass, friends. Get off the internet. Because by talking to your families and friends and community members, you can inspire real change. So I also want to conclude with this. Don't lose hope and don't burn out. We need you and your heart, so take care of yourself. And if somebody knows the broader origin of this concept, please tell me. But as told by the hungover pundit on Twitter, he says, a friend once shared what she called the parable of the choir. A choir can sing a beautiful note impossibly long because singers can individually drop out to breathe as necessary and the note goes on. Social justice activism should be like that. The fight for justice and equality is long and challenging, but every step forward counts. So stay committed, stay hopeful, and keep pushing for the changes that we need to see. Lean on each other, and especially the wisdom and leadership of BIPOC individuals and communities. Promote positive actions and allyship, and encourage your friends and followers to get involved, no matter how many or how few you have. And always ask who is missing from the stories you're being told and the stories that you're sharing, and inspire others and create a ripple effect for change. Thank you.
Wow. She's putting forth this SJW facade, but you know it's so disingenuous. Just listening to her, you know it's all a lie. You can feel it inside. It gives you kind of a gross feeling. People like this are scary. To see more SJW idiocy, click here, and I will see you over there.